We're at our test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out this week. Looks like we got ourselves a nice Lexus with a beautiful blue paint job. NX300h, H standing for hybrid. Here's the rear view. Sent it all the way from Texas, just for us. We also tested and did a video on the Lexus UX250h hybrid. We have a link for that video at the end of this video. And for those with a bigger bank account, we tested the Volvo XC90 electric dash hybrid. That was a lot of money. If you're into electric cars, you want to watch that video too. Coming up soon. Just click and watch. Under the hood is a 2.5 liter engine putting out 150 horsepower. You add electric motors, a total of 3. Pumps it up to 194 horsepower. Fuel economy listed at 33 in the city, 30 on the highway, average 31. We'll be taking out in the real world to see what the true figures are. And by the way, don't ever touch these orange cables. There's a couple jillion volts running through there and it will ruin your day. Unlike other YouTube testers, or any testers at all, there are two things we do with our vehicles that they don't. The first is check the headlights in the dark, and we'll do that right now. Well, it's getting dark, so we'll take these lights out and see what they do. Look pretty bright to me. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away, pretty bright, a bit on the low side. Here we go to high beams. Looks pretty strong to me. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. The flickering you're seeing is from my handheld camera, not the actual screen we're looking at. The second thing we do is check to see if there's really a spare tire somewhere. Most hybrids there isn't. Yep, looks like we got a donut tire under there. And here's one of my pet peeves, carpeted cargo mats on the floor. So all your gear can slide around and bang on the vehicle when you take corners. I do not like carpeted floor mats on vehicles, but it's a Lexus, so I guess we need the luxury factor. But I carry a big tire repair kit, and this thing's will be banging all over the place, so I'll just have to live with the noise, I guess. I don't know about you, but there's one feature I do not like on SUVs, and that is this. Come on, do it. Electronic rear doors. I mean, how lazy are people getting, really? I like manual doors. Fortunately, you can disconnect it on this particular vehicle, as many SUVs that have this feature. However, on this vehicle you can disconnect the power door, but somehow you can't disconnect the hydraulic system. And, you gotta be Arnold Schwarzenegger to lift this sucker. A good workout, as good as going to the gym. So, if you like opening your door manually, unless you got big biceps and taking steroids, you might as well just put it back in automatic mode. The NX300h hybrid starts at $40,000 compared to the NX300 non-hybrid at $36,000. But this has the F Sport package, so as you can see, it's a wee bit more. Amazingly, there were no options. Everything is really standard. So there's the total tab, $47,835. That's a lot. And if you're wondering what the F Sport package is, well, here you go. Since I'm sitting in the cabin, let's take a closer look. We get a nice large glove box. And with the F Sport, the Eco, Normal, or Sport mode ability on this knob. A sport mode and a hybrid. Who would think? Very simple climate controls and a real clock that actually works when the warranty goes out. Paddle shifters on a hybrid. It's an F Sport. The gauge cluster is basically well designed and gives lots of useful information. That's the good news. The bad news, like most, well, I should say many Lexus and Toyota products, They still haven't figured out how to get rid of the glare off the surface at certain angles of the day. You just got to suck it up and get used to it. What I find amazing is Toyota has a test track in Arizona where the sun shines almost, well, 360 days out of the year. You think when they drive these they would notice this issue, but apparently they don't. They really need to fix this. On older Lexus models, the infotainment screen is controlled by a stick. I think they're called a joystick. On the newer ones, it was replaced with this finger touch pad, which is very annoying to use. I don't think anybody who's reviewed the Lexus vehicles really likes this, unless they're shilling for the company. It's very awkward to use. Well, not when you're sitting still, but when you're driving at 65 miles per hour on a bumpy road. It takes a bit of skill to learn how to use it properly. You'll get the hang of it eventually, I guess. I did after about a week. Takes some practice, though. I'm sitting in the back seat, room for 2 adults, as long as they're not over 6 feet tall. And overall, the interior gets a thumbs up because the quality materials and workmanship is excellent. I guess one of the reasons for the high quality construction, this is actually made in Japan by Japanese workers in a Japanese plant. These 30-mile-per-hour winds out here are killing me. I think my camera's getting ready to blow away, so let's just hop in the car and do some driving. That's what we're here for anyway, right? Lexus has some of the best power steering on the market, and so does this vehicle here, no surprise. Good feedback, good feel, no complaints. As we do in all our videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance and impact. So let's do it. Here comes bump number 1. Pretty smooth. A bit of jumping around because of the short wheelbase. Number 2. Number 3. And the nasty one coming up. Ooh, felt that one a little bit, but overall still a pretty decent ride. For getting on a freeway ramp, this isn't the quickest vehicle I've ever driven, but all those electric motors provide lots of bottom end torque, making this very pleasant to drive. For city commuting anyway. We haven't done the highway test yet, that's coming up later. By the way, unlike other phony testers on YouTube like DeMiro and Ratty and some others I could name, who just take a car out for an hour and don't do a real drive, we do and get the real fuel economy figures, and in the past 40 miles, in city driving, 24.6 mpg. With an outside temperature averaging around 65 to 75 degrees. We're doing a highway test later, maybe the figure will change. But this is what it is. This is a comfortable vehicle for city commuting. Smooth, quiet, good driving position. It's definitely something I could drive every day. That doesn't mean I'd want to make the high payments every month, but that's a different story on a different video. I reset the mileage computer and we're going to take a highway trip, approximately 125 plus miles, approximately 75 miles per hour, and see if we can bump up the fuel economy numbers. This is a nice highway cruiser, extremely smooth and quiet. Very low wind noise, I'm rather surprised. I've run into high crosswinds here around 25 to 30 miles per hour, and as you can see, I'm really having to fight the steering wheel. But overall stability's not too bad. I don't think I'm going to get blown off the road. Just need to pay more attention. I'm surprised how the wind noise is still pretty low, although my cheap handheld camera might inflate the noise I'm hearing a bit more than it really is, which is pretty low. No complaints yet. For what it's worth, I was getting 30 miles to the gallon up to now, but fighting this wind, dropping down to around 28 to 27. We'll see what happens at the end of the trip, I guess. Alright, let's get the fuel economy reading, and I realized 25.8 isn't that impressive, but for what it's worth, I was getting 30 mpg before I hit the crosswinds. Well, 29.5 if you want me to be exact. If you're fighting wind, you're going to lose fuel economy. It's not the fault of the vehicle, it's the fault of the weather. So as far as I'm concerned, my unofficial fuel economy rating on the freeway is 29.5. We'll be taking a return trip today, but if the wind doesn't die down, I'm not going to record it. No point in doing this twice. But it was a comfortable trip, though. This is a nice highway cruiser. Good for long trips. We're going to make a return trip and try another fuel economy test. And yes, it's just as windy as it was before, but the difference is, instead of the wind in front of us, the wind is in back of us, giving us a slight push. So who knows, we might get 100 miles to the gallon. Then again, we might not. We'll know soon enough, 125 miles later. Alright, let's pull over and see what our fuel economy ended up being. Hopefully a bit more than last time. Well, 33.3 is a nice figure, although I think we were cheating a bit with the wind pushing us in the right direction, but hey, it is what it is. If you take the 26 mpg we got going there and the 33 we got coming back, divide by 2, that's around 30 mpg, which is what we're supposed to be getting by the EPA claims anyway, so I'd say it's pretty good. Means we met the standard, right? So after a week of driving, what's my take on this Lexus NX300h? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I gotta knock a few points off of that finger touch infotainment system. I just don't like it. So it drops it down to a 9. Other than that, it's a nice vehicle, very comfortable to drive. As far as value for the money, I don't know, getting to 48 grand, wow. Makes me want to think its a sister car, the Toyota RAV hybrid, at around 10 grand less, might be a better deal, but then again, it wouldn't be a Lexus now, would it? Coming up, some video links of other economical vehicles we've tested. Just click and watch.